I just need to breathe. Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. I'm Kyle from Color Expression, bringing you another swatch and review. If you couldn't guess by the giant box behind me, today we're looking at the Holo Taco 2nd anniversary release, which was their remix collection. So this is a really cool release because it's actually a 5 polish collection that consists of remixes of previous releases. So if you're familiar with my channel, you might have seen some of my mixing videos, and essentially this is like official Holo Taco polishes of mixed polishes. We're gonna look at them way more in depth and you'll understand what I mean, but I am gonna show you how you can create each of these polishes at home on your own. So if you weren't able to grab one before they sold out, which they definitely sold out really quickly, I think quicker than like Holo Taco even expected them to, but if you weren't able to grab any of the shades or this whole set, I am gonna show you some really awesome tips to create these polishes at home on your own. And honestly, some of them you can't even tell that they're different. They side by side, they practically look the same, so stick around for those. I'm so excited to show them to you. If you don't know much about Holo Taco, they are an independent nail polish brand based out of the USA. They are vegan and cruelty free, and their formula is 5 free. Before we jump into the fun part, I just want to remind you to subscribe down below if you have not already, and make sure you turn on that notification bell because I'll be uploading at least one video a week, but turn on those notifications so you know the second that a new video goes live. DJ, play that track. So first I obviously have to talk about this box because it's just insane. It's huge. It's absolutely beautiful. We got a new really cool cubic holographic pattern, and this one's 2 times the size of a normal Holo Taco collection box because they included this really cool thing inside. So we're gonna open it up and look at that, and it has this holographic CD that actually spins around and has magnets in it, so as it lands on sets of polishes it stops there, so you can see as I'm spinning it. How cool is that? Is that not just amazing? I started doing this and I was like, what am I, a DJ? Continuing on, we can see this really cool insert that actually comes out, and it has the Holo Taco logo and their little graphic design all over it, which should totally be on more merch, but that's my opinion. And then if you flip it over, it shows some, not all, of the polishes that Holo Taco has released, and it has this little signed by Simply thing, so I thought that that was super cute and just a really awesome touch. And this collection also came with a an empty bottle called Bonus Track, so that was included to promote mixing your own polish, which again, you know that we love to do that on this channel, so stay tuned in the future for a big mixing video. I know that a lot of people have asked for one, and we're gonna mix all sorts of finishes and colors together, so I am really excited for that. But let's finally look at these really awesome remix polishes. So today I decided to change it up for a swatch video and actually use the ORLY Bonder base coat because I love this base coat. It's good for stain prevention and dries super quick, so I'm always gonna love my ORLY Bonder. And so there's not really a rainbow order that I could go in with today's collection. They kind of don't fit in a linear list like that, so I decided to kind of do it lightest to darkest. So first up, we are looking at Wayback Chrome, which is the multi-chrome from this collection. And like I mentioned earlier, this is a remix collection, so this polish is actually a combination of the previous multi-chromes that Holo Taco has released. So they're not exact, just one to one to one, you put them all in a thing and this is what you get, because Christine wanted to, tweak the formulas a little bit, make them a little bit special, something that you can't just make it at home yourself, they wanted to make them unique, so you didn't want to miss out on this release, especially with the awesome collector's box that we just looked at. It's just these are so cool. But anyway, this is a really beautiful multi-chrome that kind of starts at almost a cold, kind of slightly vibrant blue. Here you can see pretty. And then as I start shifting my finger around in some of the shots coming up, you can see the purple that it shifts over to. And it's almost like this one reminds me of like the main color from Blue Ain't Slick, and then it shifts over to like the purple from Mist Shift. So in my opinion, that's like what this one reminds me the most of, but you definitely get hints of like these like little bronze flecks and pink flecks, and you can like tell that there's a bunch of different pigments in this that make it up, that it's not just like one multi-chrome pigment. So I do think that that's really cool. And again, this one had a really nice shift, like you can clearly see two different colors, so I do love a nice shifty multi-chrome. But yeah, overall I really liked this shade, and this one was kind of comparable to the one that we created at home. So for this mix, I only used 4 of the original multi-chromes because I felt like Chameleon Coat would maybe like not gray out the shade a little bit, but I felt like it would kind of muddy it and make it less of that like nice blue base. So I did equal parts of the other 4 multi-chromes, and you can see on application, like in this bright light, we are starting out with that same kind of bluish color, and you can see like again there's just all these little flecks of like purple and orange, and just like it's really cool. Like it looks like a bunch of little glitters almost instead of multi-chromes. But once we start shifting this one around, you're gonna see that pretty similar purple shift. Like I'd say that this one is pretty close. Like when we put them next to each other in a moment, like if I didn't label them, or if I didn't tell you that the one on the left is the new one and the one on the right is the old one, would you know? Because I almost don't think so. Like there's very slight differences, but look at that, like you can barely tell them apart. So as for making this one at home, I say it's a win. Next up, though, we will look at the mix that started it all. Back on Christine's channel, like a year and a half ago, she mixed the 5 holiday glitters together, and it blew everyone's minds. So from that was born this collection, and this is a combination of those 5 glitters, but also the Menchie and Xyler polishes. So we do get that orange in here, and we get those like light pink holos, but just overall, I think that this one turned out so cool. It has like the glittery, almost diamond effect that Menchie gives me. Like some of these holiday glitters, like the bases are really pigmented, so they almost would go a little bit less holographic, but with this one, they lightened up that base so it didn't have as much as the dark blue from Midnight Spark in it, and I think that it lets the holo shine through so nice, and we got really great coverage. I chose to do 3 coats with this shade, but you could easily get away with 2. I just like extra of that holo glitter, you know? So I like to just do as much as I can and fill them all in because I think that it's just so gorgeous. But this one, you are going to want to use at least 1 coat of glossy top coat, or you can get a glitter grabber, which I have been using lately, and I think that they are very cool and helpful. So I'll definitely make a video on that if that's something you guys are interested in, because they're a really cool product that saves you on some top coat. But this is a shot of this one with top coat, and you can see it's just a really beautiful like light purple, but it leans like that pinkish kind of direction, and I think that it's super pretty and cute and like light and almost summery to me. So great time for this one to come out, even though there are some kind of more fall shades in this collection. But this one just it blew my mind how holographic it was. You can see in that this is a phone flash shot, and it's just like it's wildly holographic. But now we will look at making this one at home. So the only thing I would recommend is using like half a drop of Midnight Spark. Like barely get any of that blue in, because you can already see already, like compared to the one we were just swatching, this one is a lot more purple, a lot more dark, kind of more like grape purple looking. But again, it's a beautiful shade. I'm not saying that you shouldn't make it because it's a little bit darker. Like I still think that this one is so stunning to have and would honestly kind of pair like kind of nicely with the official one. I think that they would look cool together as a manicure. But this is that with top coat, and then we're going to compare them to each other, and you can just see like the similarities are there. Again, like I said, if you put less of that Midnight Spark, that dark blue, I think that you could almost perfectly recreate this one at home. And yeah, I'd say that this one is a win. Next up, we'll take a deep dive into Heavy Metal Mixtape, which, as you can see here, is a really beautiful metallic polish that honestly made me question if I put that clip in black and white, but it was not. It was in color. But it's just like this really beautiful kind of dark gray, but almost purple leaning jelly base packed with a bunch of silver, like metallic shards. And then there's also some copper ones you'll see in there. And so that like little addition of the copper flecks gives this one so much depth as you put it on and get to really look at the color. Like in these up close clips, you can just see those like little pieces of orange, and I think that this one is so beautiful and honestly probably impossible to recreate at home. Like the darkness of this base is just, I don't think it's something that you can do at home with the blue and with the pink and like with the ones that we already have. I just think that this formulation in the lab was so unique and beautiful, and I'm really happy that they brought us this shade because it's stunning. Like this should have been part of the collection in my opinion, but couldn't we say that about all these shades? Like, oh, they fit in perfectly because they're literally part of the collection. Okay, Kyle, relax. But now we'll just look at our DIY version of Heavy Metal Mixtape. So, like I said, this one didn't really work. Like, it was not the same at all. So, you can see on my application, it's a much more sheer base. It's a much lighter base. And we didn't really get as many of those, like, champagne-colored flakes. So, I did put the ratio of how I made this one up on screen. But it's gonna just, it runs way lighter and kind of more purple instead of like almost like black with a hint of purple. This one's like silver with a hint of purple, so it is again really pretty on its own, but it's just not what Heavy Metal Mixtape was. And I'm sure you could add maybe like electrostatic or something like that has like that black jelly base to darken this one up, but if you went with that one, it's going to add hollow, so you'll get a different effect. And just, I mean, it's going to be beautiful, but it's not going to be Heavy Metal Mixtape. So that's one that I'm definitely happy to have, and it's super unique. Like, especially next to each other, you can see the like stark differences in these two polishes. So I would say that this one isn't fully possible to make at home. And now you're like, what am I watching Color Expressions video from March? Like, I know this color. Just kidding. But this is Rainbow Flood. So this is a combination of the 7 original linear rainbow holos. So this is a red, an orange, a yellow, a green, a blue, a purple, and a magenta all mixed together to create this really yummy, like eggplanty kind of dark, rich purple. And if you don't know what I meant a second ago when I was being weird, I was talking about the fact that back in March, I actually made a video on this channel mixing all these polishes together, and when we compare this one to the one that I made at home, you're literally like not gonna know the difference. I could switch the clips, you would know better. Like, these two are literally the same, so you can 100% make this polish at home. It's just a really lovely, like, dark purple, and it lets the linear shine through a lot more than electrostatic, which was the black linear polish that Holo Taco came out with. This one's like a lot more holographic, so I love this shade, and I'm really happy that it looks like the one that you're able to make at home. Like, that just shows that equal parts of those 7 shades like looks the best and works really well. So I'm excited that I already like literally had a bottle of this polish on my nail shelf. So I'm excited to show you the comparison, just to be like, oh, we did it, fam. Like, literally the same polish, but you can just see, like, I could have put so many shots of this one in because that holographic in the flash looks so good. But this was my at home Rainbow Flood, and you're really not gonna see any difference. Like, it's just, it's the same eggplant purple color. Anyway, I don't think I mentioned it before, but both the official and the at-home of this formula were 2 coats for me with like fully opaque coverage. Like, you might even be able to do 1, but as I've said before, who actually does 1 coat? But you can see here, just super holographic, maybe just like a hair more brown looking, like in that bright part of the light. Like, But honestly, these are like the same thing. I see no difference. Do you see a difference? Maybe I'm blind. I don't know, but I see no difference. But now, probably, in my opinion, the most fun in this collection, we're gonna look at the Everything Taco. So this is a combination of all 6 unicorn skins and all 3 holo toppers. So this one is just like jam-packed with special effects and is insanely stunning. So I chose to just put one coat over black because you can see just in this one coat there are so many pigments and there's like so much going on just by doing that one coat that I really don't think you need even more than that. Like, you can see just all these different colors and it's shiny and holographic, and like out in the sun this one just sparkles and glimmers and is gonna look so good for like something like New Year's Eve or just like any like fun experience. This should be on your nails because it's like it's a party and a polish. That should be a shade name. Okay, no one can take that. Party and a polish is my thing. But you can see, like, look at in that blurry shot. Look at the holo. It's just like, it's insane. I love this one. But honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I threw the 3 anniversary like flaky toppers from last year in my at-home version of this, which they don't make like a huge difference when you're just looking at it, but I feel like in the flash and in the sun there was just like a little bit more holo and kind of like these bigger holo like pieces and shards in it. So I do kind of like the one I did at home a little bit better. Call me crazy, but I think that just like those like bigger holo like chunks just add a lot to it, and I think that it turned out so cool. Personally, I thought that this idea and concept and collection was just so cool and unique and not something that you ever really see brands doing. So I definitely applaud Holo Taco for doing that, but I of course want to hear your thoughts down below. So comment down below what you thought of this idea and what you thought of these shades. Did they live up to your expectations? Because I personally liked them a little bit more than I thought I would. So I'm really happy about that. Let me know your thoughts down below because I love chatting with you guys down in the comments. Make sure that if you enjoyed today's video, you hit that like button. Again, if you haven't subscribed, I hope that you'll consider subscribing. That's gonna be it for today. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. I'm a lunatic. I'm losing it.